Yeah, welcome back to Dad's Brick Lab. My name's Jason. I'm gonna do a set for the 4th of July this week. I'm gonna do the Statue of Liberty. It's a mini block set, not made by Lego, so it is independent company. I picked this up when I went to New York over spring break and visited the Statue of Liberty. So we're gonna give this one a shot today. It is mini bricks blocks instead of the full size blocks, so a little bit more complicated, but they're not bad sets still. I've done a few of these before, so we'll get started on this and there we go. All right. All right. So, 2 bags. It's like 1,100 pieces in this set. I'm gonna show you a size comparison here in a second. Let me get all these pieces out. So these are pretty much all the brown ones. So I'm going to start with this bag. I'll open the other bag if I need it, but for now, it looks like this is mainly the base. So this should be all I need for now. Let me grab. All right. So just a size comparison. So this is a Lego 2x4 flat plate for the mini blocks. This is a 2x4 plate. So that's what we're working with today. We're gonna get it together. It still looks good. I got a couple mini brick sets that I put together, a bunch of them that I got from Japan. So they do look good. They're a little bit more complicated just because of the size of them, but they're still fun sets. They still look good. So, all right, we're going to start with the base plate. First layer, we're going to start with a couple of the black 1x2s. Looks like they are 4 studs in, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be centered on here. It'll be 4 bricks, 4 studs in. All right, so that's center. Straight across from that one. And I'll find center going the other way. Once you get your first few pieces on here and you know where those are, it's easy to work off of them and work out. It's just getting those first couple started on these that are a little more complicated. Yep. Double check. Okay, those are all on there. Does look off for some reason, but Yeah, that's why. That one's only 3 studs in instead of 4. There we go. All right, so we got those 1x2s down. That'll be our start. So now we're going to take, it's like a T block, and build with those, building off of all of these black blocks that we put on there. Found with these that with how small the blocks are, it's easier to do like this, where I found those centers and then working off of each of those, just so that it's easier to tell where everything's at and not get mixed up on placement and stuff. So, okay, with those, now we're going to move on to the next ones. Okay, so go back. Those are all those black ones I put in the wrong spot. They're supposed to be 3 studs in, not 4. I mean, everything needs to move out 1 stud. Good to figure that out now with the first layer before I get all the way up to the top and get a few layers in and have to take all these apart. So keep going. All these moved out. Okay, so we got all those straightened out. Now keep going back. Now all those line up like it should. So now that we know we're in the right spot there, keep working our way out. I don't know how many people have bought any of these mini brick sets or anything. If you've ever done any, let me know. Tell me what you think of them. I think they're pretty good sets still. They're not Lego brand, but they're still fun sets. They still look pretty good when they're done. And it's nice to have a challenge, a little bit different challenge every once in a while, working on some of this new stuff. All right, next step, we're going to move on to, I'm going to take some 2x4 blocks and 2x6 blocks. So the 6 blocks are going to go on there. Two by sixes, now our 2x4s. All right, those 2 more of them. Okay, we're going to take some more T blocks. All right. All right. Same thing on the other side. Oh, there we go. All right, now I'm gonna build like some arches over these here. I'm gonna start with these little guys. Got a wedge on one side, stud on the other. And put one on each side. Like so, over those black studs. And then on the top, we're going to take cheese wedge. So that we make a peak. Like so. On all four all the way around. So I'm going to get the other ones finished up here. And get all the little wedges put together before I put them on this time. All right, and a couple more here. All right, so I got all those put together, so now I'll go ahead and put them on. One thing I'm going to do just to give myself a reference on keeping everything lined up with the book on where everything's at here. I'm going to take one of these little random odd colored pieces that I'll probably need later. Just put it here. That way it just marks my top edge. That way as I'm turning this and putting pieces on and everything, I've got a reference to go back to. This is my top. All right, so now we're going to do a lot more. Looks like 44 of, dropped one of them. The little wedge with the single stud that we started making the peak with, going all the way around, minus corner. The corners are going to get, looks like we go one stud in, so I got the top side. Looks like we go there, there, leaving that corner stud open, this corner stud, and the bottom two. I'm going to go ahead and get those on so that I know where I'm at on those, and so that I can just throw all the other pieces on real quick. I'll pick that one up off the floor here in a minute. Okay. All right, so I know where all my corners are. So now, in those four corner studs that we left open, we're going to take the little single cheese blocks and put one in each of those so it matches up like so. I'm going to get those on, and then I'm going to fill in the rest of this all the way around. Find my other two little cheese wedges. Okay. So, we got the corners all done. Now, I have to fill in all the way around with 22 or 40 more of those wedges, or 36 more. All the way around, matching them up. So, I'll knock that out as quick as I can here. This is one thing I've noticed with the mini bricks is you have a lot of repetition, a lot of same colors or the same bricks. But with the size of them and everything, it still is more complicated. Even though there is a lot more repetition. But still fun. Still looks good. Still enjoyable. Just beware, your fingers will be a little bit more sore by the end just because of how small the bricks are and trying to deal with the tiny little pieces. And usually they don't sort the bricks out as much like with the larger sets, like Lego sets where you got bag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of times these are just one or two bags and they're all mixed in together and you got to do all the sorting and digging to find everything. All right, two sides finished. Third side done. This last side finished up. We can move on. All right, let me grab that one off the floor real quick. All right, we got that layer finished. All right, around there. Everything pressed down tight here. See, this is why I put that one reference point on there because having to turn this all the way around, doing all the other sides, Just gives me a good reference to turn it back, get it back to the matching the book. Now we're going to take some smaller plates here. That way. All right. And we got that layer on. Now, those were all plates. Now we're going to do bricks. And take some 2x4. And 2x6. All right. We're going to go there. Next layer, we're going to take some 1x1s. See. All right. We need straight 1x1s for this step. The next step, we're going to need 1x1s. We have a stud on top with a 1x1 on the side also. So while I'm digging for the 1x1s, I'll go ahead and sort out some of these other ones as I find them. It's easier for the next step. Like I said, this is one of the things that's a little more complicated with these sets, is just the plain size of the pieces make it more complicated. It's harder to find pieces and to work with them. All right, I may have to open that other bag up because so far I'm not seeing any straight 1x1 blocks or plates. I'm only seeing the 1x1 with the single stud on top and the single stud on the side. So I'm going to sort these out the rest of the way, and then if I can't find any, I will go back and open the other bag up. See if those little pieces that I need are in it instead. I have some 1x1s that are yellow, but it looks like I need all tan right now. So the yellow blocks are for a later step. Almost done sorting here, but I'm definitely going to have to open my other bag, which is hoping not to have too many pieces laying around, but it's just the way it goes with this kind of set sometimes. Alright, looks like I got at least the majority of those out. Quick look. Alright, so now carefully hold this pile over. Another bag it. These are all for the statue, not the base. And the majority of them looks like because of color. But there are all my 10 1x1s I'm looking for. Let's sort those out. Now, I'm gonna get all the tan pieces that I can out of here. Because I know the tan ones are what I need right now for the base. And then all those yellow blocks that are in there are for the torch, which will be towards the very end. But keep doing that. Okay. All right. We're gonna see if that's enough to get this stuff done so that I can keep moving along. If I need more, I'll go back to find more. I'm just grabbing what I see here. All right, so let's work around here. It's like we're going to do every other, leaving. Okay, so we'll start here and leave corner open, going on. And then do every other, and be a total of 5. One, 5. So this, you're gonna have a 1x1 open on this side, and then 2 studs open on that side. And then you're gonna do the same thing. Leave one open, starting on the corner. Every other 5 studs. Leaving 2 at the end. And same thing. Start with 1. Now, I'm not getting these all perfectly straight on here. I'll come back one of my long plates or something here. Kind of run them along and get everything straightened out and flushed up. Okay, I got all those on. I'm going to take one of these longer blocks. I figured this out with some other sets. Take one of these long blocks, put it on there, use it as your straight edge. There we go. Okay, we got all those on. The next one, we're going to take one of these, take these 1x1s with a single stud on the side, and then these round ones, and put it in so it's in the top right hole. And you place it on here, like so. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just put all these on for one side here, and then I'll put my round ones on. Get them all lined up. Okay, and then on the corner, and turn it. Okay, so now let's take the round ones. I'm going to get those clipped on. Now, all on there, I'm going to push them all. They're all down, all nice and straight across there. Now, in the corner, do the same thing. Do this on all four sides. This is the downside of tiny bricks. All right. Okay. Now the round ones again. Um, all right, two sides done. Keep moving along. All right. Check, final side. You almost need a little pair of pliers for some of these. It's how tiny they are. Okay. Base. All right, that row is done. Now let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna start with like a couple of 2x4 plates and 1x4 plates. And these are gonna go centered. Okay. Couple more 1x4 plates here. Okay. And then filling in between, we're going to do a 2x2 on each corner. And then we're going to take a couple of T's and fill in all the rest here. Then we're going to take a T and place it like so. So that it matches up here and around those. So far, I like the detail on this. It looks really nice compared to the other sets. And one more. Okay, that layer's done. Moving on to the next. Okay, I'm gonna start with 2x2s on each corner again. And then some of the 2x4 plates with 4 studs on top. I think I need 8 of them total. Um, Neat. All right. So these are going to fill in everything else in between. And give you this little window look here on the side. And the next step, we're going to need 1x2 bricks. Need 12 black ones and 16 tan ones. So, we're digging for pieces real quick. 3, 4, 5. And 10 of those. One more. There we go. All right. There's 16 of those. No, that's fine. 12 of the black ones. Yeah, there's 12 of the black ones. Now we're going to start with cans. On the outside 2. Inside 3 there, skipping one in between. Take one black on the inside. And then one in the center on. All right. We got those. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other 3 sides. Yeah. Oh. All right. Keep moving along. Okay. 3 sides finished. Get the last one. Okay. Get that layer. Now we're going to take another set of 2x2s on each corner. And then take some black plates. And we'll connect in between and lock all these together. Oop. Yeah, so the hard part about this is lining all these studs up. Because with these mini blocks, you don't have the little divider in them on the 1x2s. I'm going to take this carefully. Line that up. Alright, since I'm having trouble there, I'm just going to do that. It's easier. Thought I just dropped a piece, but I did. Here it is. Alright, so that definitely makes it easier. Taking these two black ones that are kind of just offsetting here, taking those and attaching those to that black plate before I put it on. Helps line everything up a little better. There we go. Okay. Now, got all that attached. Now on all these out here, you're going to need another 1x1 on each of those. Now for the next step, we have to build the plate that goes over this. So we have to do it to the side and then attach it on. This set would look cool if you had some lights that you wanted to do, like the LED light sets. You could take like where all these black pieces are, like inside here, and leave some of those out. And then put the lights on the inside. And let the light shine out through those, like the windows on the Statue of Liberty. It'd be interesting. Sure, they have a light kit for this one too. They got a light kit for a lot of them. All right, so now let's start building this plate here. We're gonna start with your 2x4 Have a wedge on the one side going up. And then 1x4 and 1x6 plates. And you're going to connect it all together on top. So looks like a 1x6 plate. So I'm going to start in the center and work out because it looks like it might be a little bit easier. So we need 2, 4, we need 6 of these 2x8 plates. Okay. And 2 more for the sides, like so. And then all the way around that will be these 2x2s with the wedges. And then for the top plate, starting in the center, you're going to take 4 2x4 plates here. And then build a square with them, leaving a 2x2 open in the center. Okay. So let me do this. I'm going to take a 2x2 brick, place that center, so I know where it's at. That one I'll take back out after I get this tied together here. So we're going to take our 2x4s, start our first row. Okay. Then we're going to take that 2x2 out of the center there, so that okay. So now that we got that, next, building off of that, we need the 2x8s. We'll do the same thing. We'll build a square. Building out like so. Keeping these outside ones centered in there. All right, so now that we got that row, let's tie all that together. And then next off of that, I'm going to start with the 2x4, and then the 2x8. Do the same thing all the way around. 2x4, 2x8. Okay, now we got all that on. Now we can take all the 2x2s with that wedge on it, place them on. When you do this, we're leaving, looks like, a 2x2 open on each corner. So, like so. And then we're going to build all the way around. with these little wedge ones. Okay. Leave that 2x2 open on the corner again. All right, so we got 3 sides down. There's the last one. Almost. Okay, now I got that. I'm going to finish it off. 1x4 and 1x6 plates. And do 1x4. Matches all the way across here. And 1x6 and another 1x4. And on the side straight across, same thing. 2 1x4s, 1x6, or 1x6. And then on the other 2 sides, we're going to do 2 1x6s with a 1x4 on each end. Okay. And we'll finish it off with 1x4. And get the other side. 1x6. And a 1x4. That finishes all that. Now, take this and we attach it onto this part. So it looks like it needs to go like so. So we're going to attach these 1x1s into the wedges there. Get it all pressed down nice. Try not to press too hard in the center, like I just did. It'll just start to pop it apart. And we'll get it back off without messing it all up here. Okay. When you press that on, don't press in the center because you do that. And then you take it all back apart. Or if I can get lucky, pop the base off. Okay. Now, we get all this back together. Hopefully without breaking everything. Like I am. Now I'm just going to have to put all this back together in reverse. Yeah, so figure out where everything is going. Goes there. Okay. Now, be very careful not to press in the center again so that I don't repeat all this again. Okay. Now we're all caught up. So, got this part of the base done. Looks good. Moving on. I'm going to start building up off of that. We're going to start with some 2x2s and some T's again. 2x2s will be our corners, so I will put those on first. Looks like we go in 3 and 3. Place those. Give us our reference point to work off of for the T's and the black 1x2s. And the T's are all going to build off of those. And then the 1x2s will fill in the space in between. That'll be our next kind of row of windows. There we go. And our black 1x2s. These are going to be set in one stud. So they'll all line up across the line there. All right. Then we have that set. And we still have our reference mark down here for the top. Now, we're going to go every other, starting, right, we're going to go in the corner, skip 2, and skip 2, skip 2, all the way around, stacking 2 1x1 tan blocks together. I'm going to go ahead and stack all these. That way they're straight and nice. And these are going to go all the way around the outside edge. Looks like we need 40 1x1s total, which means I'm going to have to dig through that bag to get the rest of them out. Because I do not have 40 sitting here in front of me. Mm-hmm. Well, there's 10 stacks, so halfway there. All right, let me dig through this bag some more, find the rest of my little 1x1 pins here. All right. Yeah. Believe that is all of them. Everything else in this pile is the green for the statue. Yeah, a couple of black there. And finish putting these together, get another 10 of these and get them on so we can keep moving. All right, let me get these put on, see how many more I need. They're in the corner. Skip 2. Hold on. So on all those skip 2s, we're going to take a smooth 1x2 plate, fill it in between. So all the way across that side now. Let me go ahead and put some of those smooth plates in and finish that side completely. Oop. And there these go. Okay. That's one side. Move down the next one. And we get it all the way done. And I've noticed with these mini brick sets, you got to be a little more gentle when you're putting stuff on. A lot easier to hop a previous step apart compared to some of the larger size sets. Okay, next row, next side. Like that. I'll just pop that apart and put this one on. Okay, keep moving. Especially on the corners and stuff, it's a lot easier to pop these apart. Yeah. All right, final side. All my little plates on here. All right, that's all my smooth plates. The rest of my 1x1 stacked up to finish these. All right, looks like I need 2 more. All right. All right, so that row's done. Now we're gonna start back on the inside. Looks like 2x6 and 2x4 blocks here. Starting with, we're gonna do 2x4, 2x6. 4. All right. Now we're gonna need to build the little roof arch pieces again, like we did at the very base. Those go with the 2 pieces together. You got your wedge with the single stud and then just the single wedge going on each. Like so. Repeat it on all the others. The only improvement that I could really see on some of these mini blocks is if they put that on like these 1x2s. They put that little piece in the center just to keep it from sliding back and forth. Like with these wedges for the arches here, they like yeah, put them on them and press them in, get them centered on there where they need to be. All right, last side. And then we'll move on up to the next layer. So this is going to be a longer video today, but it's just because I want to get it done in one. And it's an 1100 piece set. So even with how small it is, 1100 pieces, tiny little bricks, it's still 1100 pieces. All right, so now we're going to take some 2x6s and build a square again. Like so. And then we're going to build on top of that with more 2x6s. We're going to go off the corner like so. And we go this way. Nope. Okay, so it looks like the second layer, building off of the first, we have a ledge. So you'll have a step out, it looks like. There we go. Like that. And then for your bottom one here, take another. Build your lip like so, and then two 1x4s. Finish the outside edge. Like so. So you get your steps there, and then all the way through the center here, you take 2x6s and fill it in. All right. Now we got our flat plate on top, line border on the bottom. Now on the top side here, we're going to take 2x4 smooth plates. And you're going to start. Do 3 of them on our top side, 3 of them on the bottom. Like so. Oh, no. Okay, so 3 on the top, 1 in this bottom corner. These other 2, though, let's see. Goes back off there. Down off. So those back together. All right, 3 on the top, 1 on the bottom left. And on this right side, we're going to take 2, like so. And then we're going to take 1 by 2 smooth plates. On there, and then 3 going the other direction. And then a 1 by 1. Finishes that line, and then another 1 by 2 stepped in right there on the inside. You're going across the bottom, start with the 1 by 1. And then 3 1 by 2s. And another 1 by 2 going the opposite direction on the corner. And one final 1 by 2 going just inside like that. And we're going to take all this, attach these together. Everything nice and tight. Okay. Now we're at that step. Almost done with the, well, that looks like that's the base. Means I have a lot of pieces left. And tan, let me look at the picture. Make sure that we didn't miss anything. I think we missed an entire layer right above these windows. Yes, we did. So I'm going to try and pop this apart without breaking too much of it. Because it looks like there should be 4 2x2s. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the top half of this pedestal completed. And put all this back together. Maybe. Okay, so sorry about that. Sorry about all the back and forth on this one. There's one downside to building some of the stuff that doesn't have as clear details in the instructions. But and we will get it figured out. And keep going and getting this back together. And backwards. There you go. That's all back together. That's one good thing looking back. You can tell when you really miss some stuff because you have a whole lot of extra pieces laying here, which tells you that you missed something. So, this back part. I'm going to keep this top pedestal part together as much as possible so I don't have to rebuild everything. There we go. That part. Okay. Last piece part. Okay. Okay. The top half of the pedestal is back together. Now let's get this part put back together. So now we can move on. Okay. Now those tans on. Now I'm going to take this piece again, we did last time, and place the black ones on it so that it helps line everything up when I put it in. Okay. And get the other sides put together here. I'm just going to assemble them all on this black piece this time. Yeah. Okay. All right, last side. Get this one together. And we can put in the layer that we missed. Okay. And we got that all back together. Now the layer that we missed. Another stack of 2x2s on each corner. Then 2x6 plates in between. I'll lock all that together. Like so. And then the second one on the inside of the top and the bottom. Like so. And then flip this over, place it on, and lock it down without breaking it all apart again. Hopefully and press down. Would have been a lot easier to do if I hadn't forgot that step to start with. But I did. And I fixed it. And good to move on. Okay. Now, the only thing that's throwing me off is on these corners here. There's nothing holding them together. It seems like there should be. And in the picture, there's nothing. It's just open. So, I guess that's it. So I still have a ton of extra pieces. Now, I'm going to count how many layers I see in the thing here. Make sure that hopefully I'm at the right point now. Because looking off the picture, looks like we're correct. Okay. So, looks like as of right now, I just got a ton of extra pieces. So, these, make my pile smaller.